What's happening, friends? The NBA playoffs are here. They start on Monday, so we're going to come to you guys a little early on Sunday and talk to you about the slate. One of my favorite parts about the NBA playoffs, besides the easy money, in my opinion, is like you just don't have to worry about as many sits. Like it's not the same kind of shenanigans at the end of the day. It's pretty straightforward by comparison.
Oh, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. By comparison, it's like as straightforward as it gets.
Yeah, it's as straight as arrow as it gets. That's a good point, guys. So we'll break down the overlay slate tomorrow for the NBA stuff, guys. Pretty cool to see that $20,000 jackpot back up for grabs on the $22 contest. They got the 5-pick shootouts as well. After I hang on with my boy Bellman over here, I'm going to go ahead and enter the MLB Progressive Daily one as well and try to get my top 10% rolling on that one. We should get over 100 entries today as we continue to grow upwards to actually filling these contests, which would be pretty sweet. Shout out to these guys for their customer service and their Slump Buster challenge. It allows you to get your money back if you're not winning.
Yeah, really can't beat the customer service. Now that big jackpot is back for NBA, man, I'm pumped.
Bellman's all about the big wins, as you guys know.
Yes, I am.
So we got a lot to talk about today, not just the slate, but a couple of things that we'll have at our fruition. Again, this is a hot time of the year for us. Obviously, our livelihood depends on customers and things like that. So we do talk about it on the show from time to time. I consider NBA playoffs to be one of my specialties. We're in the middle of Bellman's specialty, which is baseball GPPs. So we're here to help you get those dollars. Lots of different types of memberships available for you on the website, including our NFL only package, which is 20% off right now at only $80. That'll go up within the week. Otherwise, for the start of the playoffs, I'm going to run a sale for today. Today's Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, which is annual memberships, which are typically $200. They cover you for 1 year, which is the day you buy it till that same day the next year. It's usually $200, which is already a good deal. I will offer a $60 reimbursement for those days. Otherwise, if you want to pay manually and not wait on the reimbursement, which will be there within, I'll send it within 24 hours. PayPal might take a day or two. You can pay at the Venmo or PayPal address below manually, and that gets you a full calendar year, every sport that we offer. Otherwise, day passes are up for $5. Get every sport applicable for the day. Subscribe to the station if you're new to it. Thumbs up is appreciated.
Let's get it.
Just to give you guys an idea, too, of what the write-ups look like, we break down why we're giving you the 5-pack of players for the day and the reasoning behind it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's start off with some chalk talk right here. Probably the easiest person to slide in your lineups on Monday is going to be Jordan Clarkson of the Utah Jazz. Very, very low price at only 3,800. Point guard, shooting guard eligibility. Or one of the earlier games in the day, if it's something you want to watch, expect him to be wildly chalky. Why? Mr. Michael Conley is out for the birth of his child, which means he's got to re-quarantine and everything like that. This is such a conundrum for athletes when you think about it. Do you want to be there for the birth of your child, or you're a big part of helping your team win? I totally get walking away to do that. That's a very important thing as a data too. At the other hand, I get why somebody would choose to stay in that situation as well. But that's not applicable to why we like Clarkson. We like Clarkson because he's walking buckets, and he's just way too cheap for a guy who's just the extra run.
Yeah, he's way too cheap. He's going to be the first guy that a lot of people look at, and he should be the first guy a lot of people look at. Again, no Mike Conley. I mean, he's just way too cheap. He'd be in play here even if Mike Conley played as like a sleeper call because he's 3,800. With no Conley, I mean, yeah, just take the points and move on.
If you're looking for a reason, and I think this is even a little contrarian for you, and I know you like to go against the grain as much as possible. The only thing I can come up with is he was pretty awful in the playoffs for the Cavaliers a couple years ago. Maybe the moment you think is too big for him. I'm certainly playing him. I'll take the free square right there and help my roster construction. But if you're looking to try to be different, it's not unlike Jordan Clarkson to occasionally throw up one of those, 1 for 12 shooting days or something like that. We saw some of those earlier in the bubble. All I can tell you is he will absolutely be in my number one lineup.
Yeah, he makes sense, man.
Yeah, he's way too inexpensive. All right, let's pivot over to a young man named Joel Embiid. So I asked you a question when you wanted to talk him over, and I understand all the reasons behind him. Is this a pivot off the chalky Jokic because Jokic is really underpriced, or is this somebody you want to play with him?
I think it's both. I think that I like playing him with Jokic because, like you mentioned, man, like putting Embiid aside, Jokic is just way too cheap. Seems like he's like gotten more inexpensive because he hasn't been great in DFS recently, but that's for obvious reasons because they've been losing run. Putting Jokic aside, however, I love Embiid here. I think Philly's got a little chip on their shoulder. No one's given them any credit at all. We know what Embiid can do without Ben Simmons. Boston gives it up inside. I think this series is competitive. I mean, I guess I expect Boston to win, but Philly has the best player in the series, and that's Joel Embiid. Again, you're not monitoring his minutes here. He's healthy. He played last game. I like him a lot here, and I figured you did too.
So to me, the first couple days of NBA playoffs are some of the prime time opportunities to kind of adjust your game quickly before the masses do. And that's remembering things like Embiid no longer has his minutes monitored, right? Like there's no opportunity here for him to be passive. Not saying he won't be passive, but there's
Right.
none of this. Let's play the long game and get Harris and Richardson and stuff like going like we got to win this game. Every game is brutally important. So expect his, A game from the drop. You're not monitoring his minutes. You're giving him every minute that he can handle. The other thing here, like if you're into like something that may have happened in the past, like this dude was left his last series in the playoffs crying and being like, I can't believe this happened. He's been itching for this for a year.
Yeah, man, and he's like that good. So I like him a lot here. I wonder how much ownership he'll get, like with Jokic there.
Well, I mean, at Jokic's insanely low price tag, I have to assume that's going to cut into Embiid big time. So I think you get him. I mean, it's not going to be like 1% or anything
Right.
crazy like that, but it's going to be lower than it would have been if there wasn't a very, very cheap, also balling center.
I'm with you.
All right, let's move on from there. Best nickname in the game now, Lemon Pepper Lou Williams, ready to rock. This is another classic example of me that whether Lou goes out for 1 point or 100 points tomorrow, I'll stick by this one till my death. This is the playoffs. You play your best players. Yes, Williams comes off the bench, but he comes in for the bench more than likely quicker than before. He's going to see more run than you would have expected. They get their best players in the playoffs. Also, Dallas is one of the weakest defenses left. Like a lot of these teams left, like the Clippers, play premier defense. Dallas, not as much. As much fun as Doncic is to watch, like as far as defending guards go, he just doesn't have it to the same level of a Kawhi, Giannis, or even like the new invigorated defense of LeBron James. So look for Lemon Pepper Lou Williams to go out there, be walking buckets like he always is. I like him a lot tomorrow, and I think it's possible he might go slightly overlooked.
Yeah, I'm thinking he might go overlooked too because people are like, you know, are hesitant to buy into what you talked about at the beginning that like, he's going to get off the bench quicker. He's going to play a couple more minutes. And I'm fully with you. You play your best players in the playoffs. Great spot for Lou to shine.
Yeah, this is one of those things where he sees starter minutes now. I know he hasn't seen like one of those full runs in one of those games, but this is a wily veteran. He's ready to roll. He's gonna be ready to rock tomorrow. And if you're the Clippers, why not get off to a bang and let your boy go out there and put some of them buckets in?
I'm with you.
All right, so you want to talk through Spicy P.
Yeah. So Pascal Siakam here, another guy I figured you could get on board with because we're just big fans of his. So another guy like kind of like Lou Williams in the sense that I think goes under the radar here. Very affordable at 7,500. First bullet point's the biggest one. Meaningless games are over. Now it's time for your best players to play and play a lot. Siakam is right up there as the Raptors' best player. Obviously they've got guys like Lowry and Van Vliet, but in this spot, I like Siakam the most. He should dominate Brooklyn inside here. I like him a lot. What's your take?
He should play big minutes. As long as this game's competitive, and even though Toronto's the much better basketball team, Brooklyn fights. They don't roll over on you, and as long as this game's competitive, I think you can see him out there for maybe 30 minutes. Not a boy, Keston Hero.
Get out.
You can see him out there for over 30 minutes, or well, almost close to 40 minutes tomorrow if the game's competitive. Expect him to be more aggressive than you have seen him. Now, Toronto's a deep team. On any given day, Gasol, Norman Powell, OG Anunoby, Van Vliet, Lowry, they can kind of carry a large offensive load. So your biggest fear is that one of the other guys does it. But I mean, the argument for him being their best player, the only other guy that you can consider is Kyle Lowry. And give me your best player if he's probably less money than he should be.
Yeah, exactly. Like I just think he eats inside, and even if one of those guys like Van Vliet has a big role offensively, I think Siakam does a lot of the dirty work inside.
Yeah, he's been, I'm not going to call him an
Quiet.
unwilling participant. He's been quiet, right? And it's hard to judge. Is that I'm out of it because I haven't played in a few months, or am I just, I guess, what's the best way to look at it? I'm just saving myself for the playoffs. I don't know. This is an unprecedented time, as we all know. So we'll see what he brings to the game, but there's every reason to believe he's just going to turn it on tomorrow.
So I'm glad you made that point because this is something I wanted to ask you during this video because we both like him a lot. But are you a little bit, and I'm not saying that it's wrong to be, are you a little bit like down on him because he has been quiet?
You can only roster so many guys, right? And after you throw in, probably Jokic just as the chalk, just to take that free spot. And if you want to play Embiid, for example, well, do I want to? Is he the third high big money guy that I want to commit to?
I understand why he wouldn't be.
Because what if I like Donovan Mitchell with no Mike Conley?
Mhm.
There's a lot of guys. Jason Tatum, you might think might go out and ball. Tobias Harris, he's going to be more needed than ever before. So there's a lot of these guys to like out there for even just a 4-game slate. So I haven't seen him play his best in a while, but that doesn't mean that he won't go out and do it tomorrow. Maybe it was a bubble thing.
Yeah, like that's why I compare him to Lou Will. Like I think that if he balls really hard tomorrow, which I'm not going to be surprised at all, he could be 8K for the next slate. I think this is a good buy low opportunity.
Yeah, I get that. I like buying low in the opening round, which is going to be a theme of a couple guys that we talk about in more detail, members only.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys, that's what we got for today or for tomorrow. We appreciate y'all clicking that thumbs up button. Grab the memberships. Let's go win that money this week. And we got NBA like every day for a while, which is sweet. We got it during the daytime. If you're at home like us and you can watch during the day, it's a lot of fun. If you're off of work, that's great. Otherwise, catch those stats while you're on the job.
It's pretty amazing. Like you just got back like NBA playoff games all day long every day.
Yeah, I think I like that. I'm a fan of this.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Awesome, guys. Well, appreciate y'all watching. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks, guys.